Well, it's been a couple of weeks since the election of a new mayor in the city of Detroit, so we wanted to sit down one-on-one with Mayor-elect Mike Duggan to talk about his transition into his new but very tough job ahead. Mayor-elect Mike Duggan won't be sworn into office officially until January 1st. His transition team is hard at work. For Duggan, seeing eye to eye with emergency manager Kevin Orr is a top priority.
Mr. Orr and I have had several hours of conversations. We'll be having several more this week. We're getting to know each other and understand each other.
And don't expect an entourage when you see this new mayor.
I mean, you come out alone a lot of times or with very few people around you, just sort of a down-to-earth guy. Is that who we should expect?
Well, I'm not any different than I was. You know, when I was the prosecutor, I didn't have a driver, and I thought that was far more unsafe than the mayor's job.
Duggan says he drove himself to 250 house parties and spoke to Detroiters directly, which led to a lot of support in the city, and that won't change.
If I'm afraid to be in my own city, something's wrong.
And with hundreds of murders this year alone, something is wrong. Too many illegal guns on the street. A woman who appeared on 7 said she has to move away to live after her son was shot walking home from school in Detroit.
The one son is still in the hospital right now with a gunshot wound to the side. What do you say to someone like that?
I mean, a big part of why I left my job and ran for mayor was the tragedies I saw coming through the doors of our ERs every day. And so I'm going, I believe, to attack it aggressively. At whatever point I'm allowed to take over, I am going to work really hard to cut the police response time, start to get the street lights on.
There are also thousands of abandoned homes in the city, and until they are occupied or torn down, Duggan says the city cannot grow.
When I was the prosecutor, I sued the owners of abandoned homes. We demolished the ones that couldn't be fixed, but we sold a lot of them to families that moved in. And if we're going to start to grow this city's population again, which is my #1 priority, is create an environment where our population is growing, not shrinking, we've got to save our housing stock.
Duggan hopes to see some change within the first year, but can't be sure of any turnaround plan until he knows what Orr will agree to let his administration tackle first.
And when people in the neighborhoods start to see the police show up, the lights start to come on, the abandoned buildings start to get occupied, the conversation you just had will change. People will say, you know what, I'll wait another year. I'm seeing signs of hope, and that's when we'll turn the corner.
And people are certainly hoping we'll turn the corner. Coming up tonight on 7, you'll see more of my one-on-one interview with Detroit's mayor-elect Mike Duggan. At 7, he talks about why so many African Americans were in his corner and if he and Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon kissed and made up after a testy exchange during one of our debates right here on 7.
I like the way he put it this time. I hadn't heard him say it that way. He says his #1 priority is to grow the city, but do it by creating an environment where people feel safe. So in other words, he wants to make the city safer.
He wants to make it safer and cleaner, and he wants people to feel like they can move here and stay here and not be afraid to live here. He said he's been here 32 years, never been attacked, so he wants the same for others.
All right, I'm interested in hearing what he says about Benny Napoleon tonight at 11 o'clock, or 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
All right.